Hello and welcome to the Tomcast. I'm Tom, president and dictator for life of 515comics.com. Before I get started with today's show, I want to remind everyone if you're going to be in the Des Moines area tomorrow on Saturday, there is a show, the Mini-Con, in Altoona at the Adventureland Inn. It's from 10 to 5. I'm going to be there. Maddie's going to be there. We're going to be selling some 515 swag, which, if you can see, I've got laid out on my couch. And, of course, there will be next to books and all kinds of other stuff there. And a bunch of other really cool Iowa artists and comic vendors and all kinds of... you can come to the show. It's a nice little show. Now it's time for another episode of Pipe Dreams with Tom. Today's topic is time. Basically, something I've been thinking about a bit recently is making time to do the things that you want. Obviously, something that I make a lot of time for, that I spend a lot of my time doing, is working on comics and other things related to my comic. Sometimes people will ask, how do you make the time to get all this done? How do you make time to do 3 pages a week? Well, first of all, I guess that thinking is just kind of wrong, that anyone can make time to do anything. You don't make time. I mean, I know it's a turn of phrase, but really, it's just kind of the wrong way to think about it. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'll do that whenever I can make time for it. No, if you want to get it done, it means that you have to not do something else. It's prioritizing. So I do 3 comics a week in part because my comics are pretty simple and don't take me that long to make. But even with that being said, I mean, I still have to set aside that time. I still have to decide not to do other things and instead work on the comic. Now, I've got a full-time job. I have a relationship with my wife that I have to maintain. I have social relationships that I maintain. I have other hobbies and interests. I just have to plan, and I have to care about it. So when people say, what do I need to do? Like, how do I set aside the time? How do I get it to work? Well, you just need to know a lot of things. You need to know when you're going to have time to work on your comic. You need to know approximately how long it's going to take you. Realistically, how many pages do I want to try and get done in a set period of time? It's really just deciding to do it. I have to set things aside a lot. I have to decide not to do things a lot in order to do my comic. But it's something that I've decided is very important to me, and it's something that I really want to make sure that I'm always doing and that I stay consistent on, because that's really important to me. If it's not really important to you to make sure that you're always hitting your comic deadlines, then you won't. If you don't decide not to do other things instead of doing your comic, then you'll do other things and you won't get your comic done. It's not easy, but it is simple, like many things in life. I don't play video games nearly as often as I once did. Now it's pretty much just if I have friends over and they want to play video games, that's pretty much the only time I get to do it. Same goes for TV. I don't have cable. I do enough other things that having those would just be a distraction, and they would just be another thing that I would have to decide not to pay attention to and not to spend time on. Now, I'm not saying that if you want to do a webcomic and you want to update as frequently as I do, that you need to go get a new job or cancel your cable or Netflix subscription or stop spending time with half your friends or anything like that. I mean, you don't have to do anything so drastic. And I really haven't done that many drastic things. I just have to decide, hey, I need to get a page done, so that means I can't really play video games right now. Or that means I can't go out with my friends tonight. And that's really what it comes down to, is that I don't make time to work on my comics. I don't make it. Basically, again, you have to set your priorities and decide where making a comic falls for you and how important it is. For me, it's still really high up there. It's one of the most important things to me that I do every week. So I'm happy to not do some of those other things and make the time to do it. Anyway, I want to wrap this up. If you are someone who wants to work on a comic or really any project that you're passionate about and that is meaningful to you, really think about time and stop thinking about making time and start thinking about what are the things that I can set at a lower priority, and just when it comes to working on whatever project it is that you're passionate about, know that it is above other things. And if you find yourself doing some of those other things instead of working on your project, you just got to remind yourself, I can't do this right now because I've got something more important to work on. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pipe Dreams, and I will see you next week.